Can you imagine that Cleopatra, the famous queen of Egypt, wasn't Egyptian by birth? Cleopatra VII, the last ruler of ancient Egypt, was born into the Ptolemaic dynasty, which was of Macedonian and Greek descent. She was the first in her family to learn the Egyptian language and adopt local customs, making her a unique figure in history. This queen, who blended cultures and identities, seems to have stepped right out of legend, connecting ancient civilizations and shaping her own remarkable story. Is it really true that goldfish forget in 3 seconds? That's actually a myth. Despite what cartoons and common beliefs suggest, goldfish have surprisingly good long-term memory. Research shows they can retain information for up to 5 months. In labs, they've been trained to push levers for food, recognize shapes and colors, and even return at specific times for feeding, showing an internal clock at work. They also remember tank mates and human caregivers, learning to associate certain people with food. When put in mazes, goldfish can recall the path to rewards even weeks later. Far from being the forgetful fools of the fish world, these creatures have complex neural processes and a keen sense of curiosity. So the next time someone jokes about a goldfish's short attention span, you'll know the truth is far more fascinating. Have you ever wondered how moths sniff love from miles away? Male silkworm moths possess some of the most sensitive noses in the animal kingdom. Their feathery antennae are loaded with millions of scent receptors that can detect just a few molecules of a female's pheromone. From up to 16 kilometers away, these males lock onto the chemical trail and navigate with astonishing precision, even in total darkness. Once in range, they engage in a dance-like flight, guided by increasingly strong scent cues. This extreme sensitivity ensures that even in low-density populations, mating is still possible. Their antennae are so advanced, they've inspired sensor designs in modern robotics and technology. Nature made them into airborne pheromone-seeking missiles, all for the sake of love. Why is there a restaurant in Tokyo where real ninjas serve food? In Tokyo, there is a restaurant where waiters dress as ninjas, and it's wildly popular. The waiters perform tricks, vanish into thin air, and serve dishes with an air of mystery. The menu features exotic dishes, served with an element of surprise, and every meal is accompanied by a show. It's not just a restaurant, it's a full adventure for those who have always dreamed of seeing ninjas in action. How long do you think the world's longest tongue is? British artist Nick Stobrel holds the title for the world's longest tongue. His tongue measures an impressive 10.1 centimeters, just under 4 inches. Nick can perform amazing tricks with his tongue. He can lick his nose, elbow, and even his own eye. He has also turned his unique talent into an art form, using his tongue to paint portraits. Nick covers his tongue in paint and makes strokes on canvas, creating truly unusual pieces of art. Talk about extraordinary skills. Can you believe hermit crabs run housing chains? Hermit crabs don't grow their own shells. They borrow them from dead snails. But as they grow, they need to upgrade. That's when the magic happens. A hermit crab in search of a bigger shell triggers a social chain reaction. Other crabs gather, each waiting for the right size vacancy. When the first crab finds a new shell and moves in, the next smallest one quickly grabs the vacated home, and so on down the line. This synchronized shell swap may involve dozens of participants. It's efficient, peaceful, and incredibly organized. Despite being solitary by nature, hermit crabs exhibit a surprisingly social behavior when it comes to real estate, a lesson in community resource sharing without any fuss. Discover Colmar's unique blend of cultures and history. This charming town in northeastern France is a treasure trove of cultural heritage, reflecting a fascinating history of German and French influence. Colmar, often considered the capital of Alsace, has changed hands between these two nations several times over the centuries, and this rich past is clearly visible in its stunning architecture. Take a stroll through its cobblestone streets, and you'll marvel at the Gothic St. Martin's Church, with its intricate facade and towering spire, a striking reminder of its medieval roots. Just around the corner, the Renaissance-style Maison Pfister stands out with its colorful wooden beams and beautifully decorated facade, showcasing the artistic flair that characterized the Renaissance period. This unique blend of styles tells the story of a town that has embraced its diverse heritage and made it part of its identity. Visitors are not just walking through streets, they're navigating a living history where every building and alley has a story to tell, making Colmar a truly enchanting destination. It's hard to believe, but balancing barnacles glue better than superglue. These humble sea creatures are master chemists. Barnacles secrete a natural underwater adhesive made from complex protein polymers and calcium, which instantly hardens in salt water. Their glue can bind to almost any surface, metal, rock, or shell, and remain stable in high-pressure, turbulent environments. Lab tests show their cement has bonding strength up to 14 MPa, surpassing many industrial adhesives. Unlike superglue, it's eco-friendly, biodegradable, and works flawlessly underwater. Scientists are studying its structure to develop medical-grade sealants in underwater construction adhesives. Evolution refined this formula over millions of years, solving engineering problems that still challenge human scientists. It's one of the most perfect examples of nature outperforming industry with sustainable brilliance. Amazing, but on Venus, it rains sulfuric acid. Imagine a planet where it rains. But instead of water, drops of sulfuric acid fall from the sky. That's exactly what happens on Venus. In its atmosphere, clouds are composed of sulfuric acid, and when it rains, the drops evaporate before reaching the surface due to extremely high temperatures, which can reach up to 470 degrees Celsius. This is one of the reasons Venus is considered one of the most hostile planets for life in our solar system. If we ever explore Venus, this hellish atmosphere would be a serious challenge for future technology. Did you know the world's most venomous animal can kill in minutes? The most venomous animal in the world is the box jellyfish, found in the tropical waters of Australia, Southeast Asia, and the Pacific Ocean. The tentacles of this jellyfish can reach 3 meters in length and are covered with millions of microscopic stingers that inject a powerful toxin. One sting causes excruciating pain, and its venom can cause cardiac arrest and death within minutes. This oceanic menace is a wonder of nature that you don't want to mess with. How would you react if I told you there's a building that's built inside out? In Dubai, one of the most unique skyscrapers in the world is Cayenne Tower. This 73-story skyscraper is twisted 90 degrees along its vertical axis. This gives it a distinctive architectural and engineering design. It creates the impression that the building is twisted like a giant spiral. It symbolizes an innovative approach to construction and has become one of the city's main attractions. Did you know offices used to be so different? The action office system, created in the 1960s, really shook things up in how we think about office spaces. Before this revolution, offices were often lined with rigid cubicles, fostering isolation and limiting creativity. But the action office system introduced a flexible, open layout that encouraged people to interact and collaborate. Imagine desks that could be rearranged, community spaces for brainstorming, and the freedom to personalize your work area. This shift helped to break down barriers, allowing for more communication and innovation among coworkers. Such an environment boosted creativity and made work feel less like a chore and more like a community effort. Today, many modern offices, with their trendy lounges and communal workspaces, owe a great deal to this groundbreaking system. The way we work and collaborate has evolved significantly, all thanks to a push for a more dynamic and engaging office atmosphere. So next time you step into an office that's buzzing with energy, think back to how far we've come since that era of stiff, solitary cubicles. Did you know Mandarin is the most spoken language in the world? Mandarin Chinese is not only one of the oldest languages on the planet, but also the most spoken, with over 918 million speakers. That's about 12% of the global population. Mandarin is the official language of China, Taiwan, and one of the official languages of Singapore. Interestingly, Mandarin is a tonal language, which means that the same word can have different meanings depending on the tone used. Imagine this. The word ma can mean mother, horse, scold, or hemp, depending on how you say it. This makes Mandarin one of the most challenging yet fascinating languages to learn. Did you know the largest living organism on Earth is a mushroom? The honey fungus, also known as the giant mushroom, covers an astonishing 2,385 acres in the Malheur National Forest in Oregon, USA. This fungus forms a massive underground network of mycelium, which is the vegetative part of the fungus that spreads beneath the soil. The mycelium isn't visible to the naked eye, but it is responsible for the mushrooms that appear above the ground. Can you imagine one organism covering such a vast area? It's a true wonder of nature that few people know about. Believe it or not, thunder travels far and wide. It might surprise you to learn that the rumble of thunder can be heard from as far as 15 miles away. However, this distance isn't set in stone. It can change based on how intense the storm is and how big it is. When lightning strikes, it heats the air around it to a staggering temperature, causing a rapid expansion of air that creates sound waves. This is the thunder we hear. If the storm is large and the thunder is particularly loud, those sound waves can travel even further, especially if the atmospheric conditions are just right. On the other hand, during smaller storms, you might only catch a distant crack or rumble. Many factors come into play, like humidity and wind direction, which can influence how sound travels. So next time you hear thunder rumbling in the distance, remember it's not just a loud boom, it's a sign of nature's power reaching out miles away. How many species of animals do you think are on Earth? Our planet is a true treasure trove, home to over 8,700,000 species of animals. Even more astonishing is that over 80% of these creatures remain undiscovered. These mysterious beings, hidden from our eyes, are waiting for their moment to reveal their secrets. As we explore the animal kingdom, we uncover the wonders of nature, reminding us of the endless mystery and diversity of our planet. Who would have thought that a snake isn't responding to music but to vibrations? The classic image of a cobra dancing to a snake charmer's flute is wildly misunderstood. Snakes are nearly deaf to airborne sound. They lack external ears and eardrums. Instead, they sense low-frequency ground vibrations through their jawbones, which are in direct contact with the earth. These vibrations are transmitted to the inner ear, giving them a surprisingly sharp awareness of movement around them. When a snake appears to follow the flute, it's actually reacting to the vibrations caused by the charmer's footsteps and instrument motion. Without movement, the snake quickly loses interest. More impressively, this sensitivity allows snakes to detect approaching animals or even seismic activity, making them living motion sensors. The music myth masks the truth. Snakes are tuned not to sound, but to the heartbeat of the ground beneath them. Cows have a phenomenal sense of smell. Cows can boast an extraordinary sense of smell, capable of detecting scents from up to 6 million meters away. This means a cow can sniff out fresh grass or a water source from miles away. This sensitivity helps cows navigate their surroundings, find food, and avoid danger. But their sense of smell isn't just about finding food. It also helps them recognize their calves and even other herd members. This ability underscores how important the world of scents is to them and how closely they are connected to the natural environment. Believe it or not, a duck's feet are nature's perfect oars. Ducks have evolved webbed feet that operate like highly efficient paddles. During a swim stroke, the webbing spreads out to push more water, generating thrust. On the return stroke, the toes fold inward, reducing drag. This efficient design enables ducks to swim with minimal energy loss, reaching speeds of 8 km/h and diving up to 3 meters deep. Their feet also contain a special vascular system that conserves heat in cold water, allowing ducks to stay active even in icy conditions. The outer layer is reinforced with keratin, preventing cuts from sharp underwater objects. Add to that precise muscular control, and ducks become highly maneuverable swimmers. These webbed feet are nature's engineering marvel. Paddle, rudder, and heat exchanger combine. Have you ever seen a double rainbow in the sky? A double rainbow is truly one of nature's most enchanting spectacles. Picture this. As sunlight breaks through after a storm, it hits raindrops hanging in the air, acting like tiny prisms that bend and split the light into a dazzling array of colors. This incredible optical phenomenon features two concentric rainbows, with the brighter, more vivid inner rainbow and a fainter outer one that appears in reverse order of colors. The deeper you observe, the more magic you can find. The outer rainbow is usually a lot wider and can sometimes take on a soft, pastel look. People often feel awe when witnessing this breathtaking display, and many cultures have linked double rainbows to good luck or even a sign of something special on the horizon. So the next time you see one, take a moment to appreciate the science behind it and revel in the beauty that nature offers. These colorful arcs remind us of the wonders that can emerge from rain and sunshine alike. Why was Stonehenge really built? The mystery of Stonehenge has puzzled scientists for centuries. One theory suggests it was an ancient astronomical structure used to observe celestial events. Research shows that Stonehenge was aligned with the summer and winter solstices. Another hypothesis proposes that it was a place of healing or a ritual complex. Despite numerous theories, the true purpose of this ancient monument remains a mystery. Pteronophobia, an unusual fear you might not know about. Did you know that the fear of being tickled by feathers has its own name? It's called pteronophobia, and it's characterized by an irrational fear of being tickled by feathers or even by feathers themselves. While this phobia is rare, it can cause significant stress and anxiety for those who suffer from it. This unusual fear is yet another example of how unique human fears can be and how they can impact daily life. Did you know that sea cucumbers eject their insides to survive? Sea cucumbers are true masters of survival, and their methods might surprise you. When these unusual creatures face predators, they can literally expel their internal organs. This extreme defense mechanism distracts the predator while the sea cucumber escapes. But don't worry, after a while, the sea cucumber regenerates its organs as if nothing had happened. This unusual survival mechanism allows them to thrive in the harshest marine environments, showing that nature sometimes finds very unexpected solutions. Hard to believe, but there's an ice castle in Norway that disappears every spring. In the village of Alta in northern Norway, every winter a stunning ice hotel and castle are built entirely from snow and ice. This unique structure exists for just a few months. Once spring arrives, it melts and vanishes. Every year, the ice hotel is rebuilt from scratch, with new ice sculptures, an ice bar, and rooms for guests. This project has become a major attraction for tourists who come to admire the incredible architecture and immerse themselves in a world made entirely of frozen water. What's hidden in LEGO's secret vault? LEGO has a secret underground vault that stores every single set of building blocks the company has ever made. It's a true time capsule filled with nostalgia and creativity, waiting to delight fans of all ages. Imagine the wonders hidden beneath this vault, where both classic and modern sets are stored together. This vault is a dream come true for LEGO enthusiasts, preserving the company's entire legacy. Discover how magnetic rings revolutionized early computer memory. In the early days of computing, memory technology took a fascinating turn with the use of tiny magnetic rings. Each ring was a remarkable component that stored data by allowing electrical signals to loop through them. When it came time to erase this data, engineers simply reversed the current, making the rings reusable. This innovative approach was a major leap forward, providing computers with a reliable way to hold and manipulate information. Imagine a collection of these rings strung together on wires, working tirelessly to perform calculations, while being as precious as gold. Over time, however, this technology was eclipsed by the invention of microchips, which packed even more power into an even smaller space. Yet, the magnetic ring memory remains a crucial chapter in the evolution of computing, showcasing how engineers shape the world we live in today. Doesn't it blow your mind that something so small played such a huge role in the technology we now take for granted? Slavery in the United States existed from 1619, but was officially abolished only in 1862 through President Abraham Lincoln's decision. He became a symbol of the struggle for freedom and equality. By that time, slavery was deeply entrenched in American society, and its abolition marked a significant milestone in U.S. history. This act triggered a series of changes in the country's social structure, leading to the Civil War and serious economic and cultural transformations that continue to impact society today. Is it possible in Tokyo there is an inverted tower that goes more than 60 floors underground? The Japanese are known for their engineering ingenuity, and the inverted tower project is one of the most ambitious. This tower, unlike traditional skyscrapers, goes deep underground instead of soaring into the sky. Built in the dense urban landscape, it is an innovative solution for creating new office and living spaces in a land-scarce environment. Imagine walking down the street and below you, there's a whole underground city. Throw an apple. Declare your love. The romance of ancient Greece. In ancient Greece, throwing an apple at someone was a symbol of love. This gesture meant a declaration of love and was equivalent to a marriage proposal. The apple was associated with the goddess Aphrodite, which added even more romantic meaning to the action. If the person caught the thrown apple, it meant they accepted the feelings. Modern life may not have such gestures, but this fact shows how much cultural norms have changed over time. The United States is the birthplace of skyscrapers. The first skyscraper was built in Chicago in 1885 and held the record until 1931. The tallest building in the U.S., Freedom Tower in New York, which stands on the site of the destroyed Twin Towers, is currently the 7th tallest building in the world. These architectural marvels symbolize not only strength and technology, but also the resilience of the nation following the 9/11 tragedy. Skyscrapers in the U.S. embody the country's ambitions and its capability to construct unique, magnificent structures that continue to astonish the world. Did you know Beyoncé's name has a special meaning? Beyoncé Giselle Knowles-Carter, one of the most celebrated music icons of our time, carries a beautiful piece of family history within her name. Her first name, Beyoncé, is actually a tribute to her mother, Tina Knowles' maiden name. This connection is a heartfelt nod to her family's roots and the legacy they've built together. The uniqueness of her name mirrors her own distinct style and artistry in the music industry, making it easy to recognize and remember. Growing up, Beyoncé was influenced by a mixture of music, dance, and performance, which led her to rise to fame as a member of Destiny's Child before launching her powerhouse solo career. Her name isn't just a name, it's part of her personal story and a reminder of where she came from. With countless awards under her belt and a passion for empowering others, Beyoncé's journey from her mother's maiden name to a global superstar showcases the profound influence of heritage and personal identity in shaping incredible talents. Wow, in some U.S. states, atheists are not allowed to hold public office. In the U.S., there are 7 states where atheists are legally prohibited from holding public office. This is intriguing, as America is known for its fight for religious freedom. However, in some states, laws still exist that restrict the rights of individuals in public service based on their religious beliefs. This issue remains relevant for many residents seeking legislative changes that would guarantee full religious freedom for all citizens. Welcome to a town with a population of 1. Imagine an entire town with only 1 resident. Monowai, a small town in Nebraska, USA, has a population of just 1 person, Elsie Eiler. She wears many hats: mayor, librarian, and bar owner. This tiny town with a population of 1 is a unique place in the U.S. Elsie runs everything on her own, collects taxes from herself, and serves the few tourists who pass by. Monowai is a living example of a one-woman show, drawing attention because of its uniqueness and Elsie's story. Who would have thought that jellyfish are 95% water? Jellyfish are almost ethereal in appearance, and no wonder, 95% of their bodies are made of water. This high water content allows them to float gracefully through the ocean, moving with the currents as if weightless. Despite their simple structure, jellyfish have existed for hundreds of millions of years, perfectly adapted to life in the ocean. Their delicate, watery forms remind us of the fragility and beauty of marine ecosystems. Is it possible? The world's longest staircase is on a mountain. Located on Mount Nianbo Yartze in China, there is a staircase stretching approximately 9 kilometers with over 7,000 steps. The climb takes several hours and requires physical endurance, But the view from the top is worth all the effort. Every year, thousands of tourists take this path to see the incredible landscapes visible only from high above. You won't believe how The Matrix changed fashion. In the late 1990s, the release of The Matrix was more than just a groundbreaking film. It sparked a complete fashion revolution. The movie's distinctive cyberpunk aesthetic, which featured sleek black leather coats, combat boots, and oversized sunglasses, quickly captured the imagination of audiences around the world. Suddenly, everyday fashion shifted as people began gravitating toward that edgy high-tech look. The iconic characters, especially Neo and Trinity, became style icons, inspiring a legion of fans to imitate their bold outfits. This wave of influence reached beyond the screen into everyday life, affecting not only streetwear, but also high-fashion runways. Designers started to incorporate these futuristic elements, blending them with traditional styles. It was like a digital renaissance, merging tech and fashion in a way that felt revolutionary. This connection even echoed in various subcultures from goths to skaters who embraced the Matrix vibe, making its style a defining mark of the decade. So the next time you see someone in a black leather coat and sunglasses, you might just be witnessing the lasting impact of a film that changed the fashion game forever. Surprisingly, some snakes have vestigial legs. Yes, certain snake species like boas and pythons still possess tiny vestigial legs called spurs near their tails. These remnants are the evolutionary leftovers from when snakes' ancestors had fully formed limbs millions of years ago. Over time, as snakes adapted to a slithering lifestyle, they lost the need for legs. But these little spurs remain as a fascinating window into the ancient past of these reptiles. It's like carrying a little piece of history on their bodies, reminding us that evolution is full of surprises. How do diamonds form from marine animals? In the depths of the ocean, under immense pressure and temperature, carbon from the remains of ancient marine organisms can turn into diamonds. This process takes millions of years, resulting in some of the diamonds, prized for their unique origins. Scientists believe that some diamonds mined in Africa may have formed from these ancient sea creatures, giving the stones not only beauty, but also a history spanning millions of years. Why is space black? It's connected to Olbers's paradox, which explains why the sky is dark despite the countless stars in the universe. Though there are many stars, their light doesn't fill all of space for several reasons. First, the universe is expanding, and many stars are moving away from us so fast that their light can't reach Earth. Second, there's a cosmic horizon beyond which we cannot see, making stars beyond that point invisible to us. Can you believe that the world's oldest cheese was found in a tomb over 3,000 years old? In 2014, archaeologists in China made an incredible discovery: the world's oldest cheese, buried in the tomb of a nobleman from the Bronze Age. Dating back to the 16th century BCE, this ancient cheese was made from a mixture of cow, goat, and sheep's milk. Thanks to the unique burial conditions, the cheese was well preserved, with a crumbly texture and a salty flavor. Interestingly, the bacteria used to make this cheese had consumed the lactose during fermentation, making it lactose-free. Believe it or not, the US has 6 time zones. With regions stretching across vast distances, America experiences time differently depending on where you are. The 6 official time zones are Eastern, Central, Mountain, Pacific, Alaska, and Hawaii Aleutian. For instance, when the clock strikes 9 a.m. in New York City, folks in Honolulu, Hawaii, are just waking up at 4 a.m. This staggering difference can lead to some interesting scenarios. Imagine planning a phone call to a friend across the country and realizing they're still asleep. Understanding these time zones is crucial for everything from business meetings to catching your favorite TV shows live. The time system not only reflects the geography, but also the culture and lifestyle of each region. People in bustling New York may be busy sipping coffee and heading to work, while in Hawaii the sun is just starting to rise, inviting locals to enjoy the beautiful morning waves. So whether you are celebrating New Year's or planning a cross-country trip, keep in mind the time differences that create the incredible tapestry of American life. Mosquito detectives. Case closed. Did you know that mosquitoes can help solve crimes? In Finland, police found a dead mosquito inside a stolen car. By analyzing the blood left inside the mosquito, they identified the DNA of the thief. Female mosquitoes feed on blood to nourish their eggs, while males stick to nectar. This unique case shows how even the smallest creatures can play a big role in justice. It's a perfect example of how science and nature sometimes surprise us with their unexpected contributions. Did you know that the U.S. seized Panama for the canal? In 1903, when Panama was still part of Colombia, the U.S. engaged in a real political maneuvering. On November 4th, an uprising broke out in Panama, and the U.S. Navy blocked Colombian forces from suppressing the revolt. Just 2 days later, on November 6th, the U.S. recognized Panama's independence. Soon after, a treaty was signed granting the U.S. control over the Panama Canal, as well as the right to station troops in Panama and construct the canal. In exchange, the U.S. paid $10 million and an annual rent of $250,000. The canal opened new trade routes, but most importantly, provided the U.S. with a strategic advantage, allowing for rapid military deployment between oceans. Did you know that there is a country where money is made of plastic? In Australia, all banknotes are made of polymer, not paper. This makes them much more durable and harder to counterfeit. Australian polymer money can last up to 2.5 times longer than paper notes and can easily withstand humidity and even being submerged in water. In fact, due to this technology, plastic has become the currency material of choice for more than 30 countries. Additionally, Australian money can be cut in half, and each half is still considered legal tender until replaced. How does Germany successfully run a crocodile farm? At the crocodile farm in Saarland Zoo, more than 100 crocodiles live comfortably, even in Germany's harsh climate. This zoo is equipped with water heating systems that create ideal conditions for these exotic reptiles. Despite the cold winters, the crocodiles act as if they're in the tropics. Tourists can even watch them lazily swim or feed, making this one of the region's main attractions. Did you know that a jiffy is an actual unit of time? The term jiffy is not just a figure of speech. It's a real unit of time. In scientific terms, a jiffy is defined as the time it takes light to travel 1 centimeter in a vacuum, which is approximately 33 picoseconds. While we often use the word to refer to something happening quickly, scientists have made it a measurable moment. This fun fact shows that even the quickest of moments can be quantified if you delve deep enough into the mysteries of time. Believe it or not, America is behind every economic miracle in other countries. After World War II, the U.S. began investing in the recovery and development of other nations, leading to economic wonders in Japan, Germany, South Korea, and China. In Japan, the U.S. transferred technology. In Germany, they provided financial aid and protection. South Korea was integrated into the global economy, and China received significant investment. Today, the U.S. remains the primary buyer of goods from these countries, despite China's rise as a leading economic partner. This approach not only created strong economic allies for the U.S., but also secured a strategic advantage in the world. Step back in time to ancient Rome's fierce gladiators. In the bustling heart of the Roman Empire, where the Colosseum echoed with cheers and roars, gladiators were more than just fighters. They were trained warriors who honed their skills in special schools known as ludi. These schools were run by expert trainers called lanistas, who meticulously crafted the gladiators' abilities, preparing them for the brutal arena battles that captivated audiences. Imagine the early mornings at these training grounds, where the air was thick with the sound of clashing swords and the shouts of eager trainers. Gladiators practiced relentlessly, mastering techniques not only in combat but also in teamwork, as they often fought alongside each other in pairs or groups. The ludi were places of discipline and endurance, where the fighters learned to withstand both physical pain and psychological pressure. While they were often seen as mere entertainers, these warriors led complex lives, forming bonds with their trainers and fellow fighters, and sometimes even becoming celebrities of their time. The life of a gladiator was harsh, but through rigorous training, they became symbols of bravery and skill, forever etched in history. Isn't it interesting that hedgehogs can swim? These little spiky creatures don't seem built for water, but they are surprisingly good swimmers. Hedgehogs can not only swim, but also hold their breath underwater. They puff up like little rafts and can cross rivers and lakes if necessary. Although they don't often need to, the ability to swim helps them survive in the wild, proving that even the smallest creatures can be great adventurers. Did you know Venus spins backwards? Unlike most planets in our solar system, Venus rotates in the opposite direction, meaning the sun rises in the west and sets in the east. Scientists are still unsure what caused this bizarre behavior, but one theory suggests that Venus may have collided with a massive asteroid long ago, altering its axis. And here's another mind-blowing fact. A day on Venus is actually longer than its year. Here's a wild fact about a magical ice hotel. Every year in Sweden, a stunning hotel made entirely out of ice and snow springs to life. And it's not just for show. Known as the Ice Hotel, this amazing place is constructed in the small village of Jukkajärvi, just above the Arctic Circle. Each winter, skilled artisans gather around 5,000 tons of ice from the nearby Torne River to create stunning rooms, sculptures, and even a bar, all while keeping the creativity flowing. Every year, the design is different, offering guests a fresh experience with intricate ice artwork and uniquely themed suites. But it's not just about the chilly rooms. Staying at the Ice Hotel means diving into plenty of fun winter activities. Guests can try dog sledding, snowmobiling, or relax in a cozy sauna. The hotel also melts away come spring, turning back into the river it came from, making each stay truly one of a kind. Imagine snuggling into a sleeping bag on a bed made of ice. How many places can offer that kind of frosty adventure? Did you know the world's oldest recipe is for beer? The oldest known beer recipe dates back to around 4,000 years before our era in ancient Sumeria. This ancient beer shows how long the tradition of brewing has been preserved. Sumerians brewed beer from barley, and this process was a key part of their culture for millennia. Who would have thought that the tradition of beer is so ancient and still thriving today? Why do some old clocks have one number written incorrectly? If you have ever looked closely at the dials of old clocks, you may have noticed that the Roman numeral for 4 is often written as 3 instead of the standard Ivor. The reason for this lies in historical traditions. Roman craftsmen believed that 3 looked more symmetrical on the clock face and was easier to recognize by the eye. This rule has carried over from ancient times to modern antique clocks, preserving its incorrect beauty. Did you know that the first frozen dinner was created in 1953? Imagine this. The frozen dinners we're so used to were once a culinary breakthrough. In 1953, Swanson introduced a frozen meal styled after a Thanksgiving dinner. This meal was in response to the need for quick meal preparation, and since then, frozen foods have become a staple of our diets. Today, the variety of frozen meals is staggering, from pizzas to exotic delicacies. Just think how a simple solution for leftover food turned into a multi-billion-dollar industry that has transformed our eating habits. What if I told you that English is a blend of languages? Modern English is a true mosaic, woven with elements from German, French, Scandinavian languages, and many others. Although it is currently the official language of the United Kingdom, this was not always the case. English spread worldwide thanks to the British Empire, and its success is largely due to the vast array of words it has absorbed from different languages, making it easy to communicate and adaptable to diverse cultures. This is why English has become a global language. Who would have thought that dolphins sleep with one eye open? Yes, it's true. Dolphins have a unique ability to shut down half of their brain while the other half remains active. This allows them to rest while staying alert for predators and maintaining control over their breathing. Imagine being able to sleep while still ready to wake up at any moment. This evolutionary trick helps dolphins survive in the ocean. Did you know that elephants can hear with their feet? Elephants have a unique ability to sense sound waves through the ground. Their sensitive feet can detect vibrations from several kilometers away. These vibrations help elephants detect approaching predators or other herds. Furthermore, they use this ability to communicate with each other over long distances, transmitting signals and warnings. This sensitivity makes elephants remarkable animals, capable of hearing what is imperceptible to human ears. It's hard to believe, but it's true. Brits talk about the weather more than anything else. According to a study, 94% of Brits have talked about the weather at least once in the last 6 hours, and 38% reported discussing it in the last hour. This is due to the frequently changing weather in the UK, where rainy conditions are the norm. On average, there are 130 rainy days a year in Britain, prompting locals to always discuss what's happening outside. So don't be surprised if, upon meeting a Brit, the first question is about the weather. How would you react if you found out that there are over 100 words for rain in Britain? It's not a joke. The English language boasts more than 100 words to describe different types of rain. This emphasis on describing precipitation is due to the constant rainy weather in the UK. And if you ever find yourself in Britain on a rainy day, remember that the best way to cope with the dreary weather is by having a cup of tea, which is also an important part of British culture. Ever tasted a pizza worth thousands? In 2007, Scottish chef Domenico Crolla created a culinary masterpiece known as the Pizza Royal 0-7, and it came with a jaw-dropping price tag of $4,200. This pizza is not your regular round pie. It's a luxurious treat designed for those who want to indulge. Picture this. It's topped with extravagant ingredients like edible gold, which glitters as you take a bite, and caviar that adds a salty burst of flavor. But wait, there's more. It features tender lobster and smoked salmon, bringing a taste of the sea to your slice. To truly elevate its opulence, the pizza includes champagne-soaked venison, adding a touch of finesse that's hard to resist. The icing on the cake, or should I say the topping on the pizza, is its purpose. This pricey dish was auctioned off for charity, with all proceeds going to a good cause. So while we might not all be able to afford a slice of this ridiculously expensive pizza, it certainly makes for an interesting conversation starter about what defines luxury dining. Did you know that monarch butterflies undertake one of the longest migrations on Earth? These amazing insects travel thousands of kilometers each year, migrating from Mexico to the United States and Canada. What's even more incredible is that this journey takes place over several generations. Monarch butterflies begin their migration, lay eggs, and the next generation continues the journey. This incredible relay across generations transforms their migration into a dance that transcends borders, a true wonder of nature. Did you know almonds and peaches are relatives? It turns out that almonds and peaches are members of the same plant family, Rosaceae. These two fruits are distant cousins in the plant world. Despite their differences, they share many biological traits. So next time you enjoy almonds or peaches, remember that your favorite snacks are actually relatives, and nature is full of surprising connections. It's not as simple as it seems, because Iceland isn't just ice. When early Norse explorers reached this island, it was winter. They saw snowstorms, icy cliffs, and cold seas, and they named it Island or Iceland, based on first impressions. But this land of ice is also a land of fire, one of the most volcanically active places on Earth, filled with geysers, green pastures, and hot springs. Ironically, Iceland is greener in parts than its neighbor Greenland. Over the centuries, the name stuck, becoming a kind of poetic misdirection. Viking sagas described Iceland as both beautiful and brutal, a land of gods and giants, and modern visitors still find that contrast alive. Today, glaciers and lava fields coexist with modern cities and geothermal energy. Iceland's name tells only half the story. Its true identity is a spectacular blend of opposites. Wonder how blue whales communicate underwater? These enormous creatures, the largest animals on the planet, have a fascinating way of connecting with one another, thanks to their powerful songs. Blue whales produce low-frequency calls that can travel across vast distances in the ocean. These calls are like underwater whispers that travel for hundreds of miles, allowing them to communicate with potential mates or other whales. It's almost as if they're sending text messages, but through sound. Researchers believe these songs also help whales navigate the deep, dark waters, guiding them through the vast and sometimes treacherous oceanic depths. What's truly incredible is that these sounds can be so deep that human ears might struggle to hear them. They fall below the range of typical human hearing. Moreover, these songs not only serve practical purposes, but also play a role in social bonding. Next time you ponder ocean life, remember these gentle giants are not just roaming the seas. They are actively singing and chatting, creating the largest symphony on Earth. Why is Venus hotter than Mercury, even though it's farther from the Sun? Despite Mercury being the closest planet to the Sun, Venus holds the title of the hottest planet in our solar system. Its surface temperature reaches 460 degrees Celsius, or about 860 degrees Fahrenheit. This is all due to its dense atmosphere, mostly made up of carbon dioxide, which creates a powerful greenhouse effect, trapping heat. Venus's atmosphere acts like a giant blanket, making it resemble an inferno, even though it's farther from the Sun. Can you guess when the first mobile phone call was made? On April 3, 1973, the first mobile phone call in history was made. This historic moment took place in New York City when Motorola engineer Martin Cooper dialed the number of his competitor. The phone was bulky and weighed over 1 kilogram. This call marked the beginning of a new era in communications, paving the way for the sleek smartphones we carry with us today. Did you know the term cow is often used incorrectly? The term cow technically refers only to a female cattle that has given birth to at least one calf. A female that has not yet had a calf is properly called a heifer. Male cattle are called bulls. This term is often used incorrectly in everyday conversation when referring to cattle in general. The next time you speak about cows, remember that there are many nuances to the term, depending on the animal's sex and age. Why are days on Earth getting longer? Due to the gravitational interaction between Earth and the Moon, our planet's rotation is gradually slowing down. This phenomenon, known as tidal friction, causes our days to lengthen by about 1.7 milliseconds every century. In the future, our days will be even longer, and we may need to rethink how we measure time. Imagine a snooze button with extra time becoming a necessity millions of years from now. Here's a wild fact about dragon fruit. This tropical treat, also known as pitahaya, boasts an appearance that looks like something straight out of a fantasy novel. With bright pink or yellow scales and green-tipped spikes, it's like Mother Nature caught a little creative spark. But the real magic happens when you slice it open. Inside, you'll discover a vibrant white or pink flesh, dotted with tiny black seeds, giving it a unique texture and an inviting look. The taste is mild and subtly sweet, making it perfect for smoothies, fruit salads, or just enjoying fresh on its own. Not only is dragon fruit visually stunning, but it also packs a punch when it comes to nutrition. It's low in calories and rich in vitamin C, fiber, and antioxidants. Some even say it can help boost your immune system and promote healthy skin. Whether you're diving into one for the first time or adding it to a trendy dish, dragon fruit is sure to bring a splash of tropical joy to your day. Galileo didn't invent the telescope. Many people believe that Galileo Galilei invented the telescope, but in reality, he improved upon an existing design. The first telescope was actually created by a Dutch spectacle maker named Hans Lippershey in 1608. Galileo made enhancements to this design and used the telescope for astronomical observations, discovering phenomena such as lunar mountains and Jupiter's moons. His contributions to science are invaluable, but it's important to remember that great discoveries often build upon the work of those who came before. Radioactive bananas. Yes, it's true. Did you know that bananas are radioactive? Yes, your favorite fruit contains a small amount of the radioactive isotope potassium-40, but don't worry, you would have to eat a huge number of bananas at once to be harmed by radiation. This natural radioactivity poses no health risk, but it does make bananas an interesting example of how nature can surprise us with unexpected properties. So the next time you enjoy a banana, you can impress your friends with this surprising fact. The secret to flight: 4 forces that keep a plane in the air. A plane's flight isn't just about its wings. In reality, there are 4 forces at work: lift, thrust, drag, and gravity. Lift keeps the plane in the air thanks to the wings. Thrust propels the plane forward through its engines. Drag resists the plane's motion. and gravity pulls it down. These forces work together to maintain stable flight, like a well-choreographed dance where each force has its role. Understanding these forces can make the marvel of flight even more fascinating. Is it really true that lakes can be colorful? The Spotted Lake in British Columbia, Canada, is a stunning natural wonder that brings this idea to life. During the summer months, when the heat increases, the lake's saline waters evaporate, leaving behind a dazzling display of vibrant colors. The lake is rich in minerals, including magnesium sulfate, calcium, and sodium, which create colorful pools that resemble painters' palettes scattered across its surface. Each year, visitors gaze in awe at the distinctive shades of blue, green, yellow, and white that emerge, making it a popular spot for photographers and nature lovers alike. Interestingly, the mineral-rich waters also have a story to tell, as they hold cultural significance for the indigenous people of the region who use them for traditional healing practices. While the lake's beauty is captivating, it's essential to appreciate it from a distance, as swimming is not permitted due to the fragile ecosystem. So, next time you think of lakes, remember that not all are just blue or green. Some can truly surprise you with their colorful charm. Did you know that in Indonesia there is a temple on a rock that connects nature and spirituality? Tanah Lot in Indonesia is an exotic rock surrounded by the ocean, topped by an ancient temple. This iconic site, located on the coast of Bali, has become a symbol of the island's culture and spirituality. Every year, thousands of tourists come here to witness the waves crashing against the rock, creating a unique natural spectacle. The temple built on this natural monument is an important religious and cultural site for the local community. Did you know that a duck's quack actually has an echo? Despite the popular myth that a duck's quack doesn't echo, that's not true. It's not that ducks lack an echo, it's that our ears sometimes fail to catch it. The physics of sound works the same as for other sounds, but due to the frequency of the quack and how it spreads, it may seem quieter or barely noticeable. Next time you're near a duck, listen closely. You might catch its quack echo sounding like it's in stereo. It's nature's version of a whispering gallery, but with ducks. Can you imagine that the Tianzi Mountains in China inspired fantasy films? Located in Hunan province, the Tianzi Mountains are famous for their unique peaks that seem to have grown out of the earth, creating an atmosphere reminiscent of scenes from science fiction movies. These mountains served as inspiration for the creators of the film Avatar and are considered one of China's most incredible natural wonders. For tourists, cable cars have been built that provide breathtaking views of these peculiar rock formations.